The re-NEET exam, much to the relief of the government and 22 lakh students appearing for it, went without a hitch, but Bihar's Munna Bhai MBBS students almost derailed it. A major cheating racket has been uncovered during the re-NEET examination in Bihar's Lakhisarai. This is where 9 alleged imposters, including doctors and medical students, were caught appearing for the test on behalf of candidates. The arrests were made during biometric verification and intensive checks across multiple exam centers. Authorities have also detained 7 personnel linked to the agency handling biometric attendance, because it was these personnel who allowed these Munna Bhai MBBSs to enter the examination hall to write exams on behalf of candidates. The police, meanwhile, we are told, continues to investigate what is suspected to be a larger interstate solver gang. Listen in to what the DG of the NTA has said on it today.
Some cases have been reported from Bihar. We have got some cases of Lakhisarai. In some cases, some students were trying to smuggle in mobile phones. In some cases, somebody was trying to impersonate. So we do all level of frisking and checking and CCTV surveillance and biometric authentication to check these malpractices. The purpose of all the security layers that we have is to ensure that nobody is able to do any malpractice. It's obvious that if there are few persons who are trying to do that, they will be caught.
Let me go straight across to Saket, who is joining us on the broadcast. Saket, can you tell us how exactly was this solver gang, or Munna Bhai MBBS as we are calling them? How did they get caught? How were they identified?
देखिए, ये जानकारी मिली थी वहां पर स्थानीय प्रशासन को उनके सोर्सेज के हवाले से कि कुछ ऐसे मुन्ना भाई हैं जो कि सॉल्वर गैंग से जुड़े हुए हैं और वो कई जो एग्जामिनेशन सेंटर है लखीसराय में वहां पर वो इंटर कर रहे हैं। तो उसके बाद वहां पर पुलिस ने दबिश बढ़ाई और जैसे ही इन लोगों ने इंटर किया था, एग्जाम शुरू होने से पहले इनको आइडेंटिफाई किया गया। जो वहां पर पुलिसकर्मी तैनात थे उनको तुरंत अलर्ट किया गया और वो जाकर फिर से एक बार रीचेक किया लोगों का, जो बायोमेट्रिक जो लोग परीक्षा दे रहे थे, जो छात्र परीक्षा दे रहे थे, उनका फिर से बायोमेट्रिक कराया गया, जिसमें ये तमाम लोग पकड़े गए हैं। जो केंद्रीय विद्यालय है वहां से सबसे ज्यादा, जो लखीसराय केंद्रीय विद्यालय, वहां से 7 लोगों की गिरफ्तारी हुई। उसके अलावा 2 और कॉलेज है, वहां से 2 लोगों की गिरफ्तारी हुई। और इन लोगों ने जो रास्ता अपनाया था वो बायोमेट्रिक जो कर्मचारी जुड़े हुए थे, जो तमाम छात्रों से बायोमेट्रिक ले रहे थे, उन्हीं लोगों के साथ साठगांठ करके ये जो तमाम जो सॉल्वर हैं वो अंदर घुसे थे एग्जामिनेशन सेंटर पर। हालांकि उनको जल्द से जल्द जिला प्रशासन के द्वारा आइडेंटिफाई किया गया, उनको पकड़ा गया। अभी तमाम लोगों से पूछताछ चल रही है, जिसमें 9 ऐसे लोग हैं जो कैंडिडेट बनकर जो एग्जाम दे रहे थे, और इसके अलावा 14 बायोमेट्रिक कंपनी जो वहां पर जिनको जिम्मा मिला था, जिनको बायोमेट्रिक जांच के लिए, उस कंपनी के 14 ऐसे कर्मी हैं जिनको गिरफ्तार करके पूछताछ चल रही है। जो बायोमेट्रिक कंपनी जिसको ये टेंडर मिला था वहां एग्जामिनेशन सेंटर पर बायोमेट्रिक लेने के लिए, उन लोगों से भी पूछताछ की जाएगी, क्योंकि ये जानकारी मिल रही है कि 500-500 में स्टाफ रख के जो कॉलेज थे वहां बाहर में उन लोगों ने रख दिया था, उसी को पैसे देकर ये तमाम लोग एंटर किए थे एग्जामिनेशन सेंटर पर। तो तमाम बिंदुओं पर पुलिस जांच कर रही है, पूछताछ चल रही है। जल्द इस पूरे मामले में बड़ा खुलासा होगा, क्योंकि तमाम जो छात्र हैं जो कि सॉल्वर थे, जो अंदर एग्जामिनेशन सेंटर पे बैठे थे, उन लोगों का तार अलग अलग राज्यों से भी जुड़ा हुआ है। बीएचयू के भी छात्र हैं, दिल्ली से भी कुछ छात्र आए थे। तो तमाम जो कड़ियां हैं वो पुलिस जोड़ रही है और जल्द एक बड़ा खुलासा इसमें फिर से होगा कि किस तरह से पैसे के दम पर जो सॉल्वर गैंग है फिर एक बार नीट एग्जाम में एक्टिव दिखे और इस तरह से एग्जाम में
सवाल एक छोटा सा सवाल ये उठ रहा है आज कि देखिए, चाहे पेपर लीक हो, चाहे चीटिंग हो और ये सॉल्वर गैंग हो, ये तो भारत के एग्जामिनेशन सिस्टम का हिस्सा बन चुके हैं। मैं ये आपसे जानना चाहती हूं कि ये जो मेडिकल स्टूडेंट्स हैं और डॉक्टर्स हैं जो सॉल्वर गैंग का हिस्सा हैं, ये मेडिकल स्टूडेंट्स भी हैं, ये डॉक्टर्स भी हैं, तो ये कहां के हैं? ये लखीसराय के हैं, बिहार के हैं, या देश के अन्य कोनों से भी हैं? और इनके साथ अब क्या किया जाएगा? क्या इनके जो इनको कॉलेज से हटा दिया जाएगा? कुछ ऐसी बात सुनने को मिल रही है।
देखिए, अलग अलग जगहों से है, जिसमें एक पीएमसीएच का छात्र है जो इस एग्जाम में बैठा था सॉल्वर बनके। इसके बाद गया मेडिकल कॉलेज का एक छात्र है जो कि मास्टरमाइंड बताया जा रहा है, उसी ने ये तमाम चीजों को, सभी छात्रों को जोड़ा था। बीएचयू से एक छात्रा है जिनको जो एग्जाम में बैठी थी। इसके अलावा यूपी से ही एक और मेडिकल कॉलेज की छात्रा है। दिल्ली शाहदरा से भी कुछ छात्र थे जो यहाँ पर आकर एग्जामिनेशन में बैठे थे। तो तमाम छात्रों के नाम आइडेंटिफाई किए जा रहे हैं और इन लोगों से निश्चित तौर पर जब पूछताछ होगी तो कॉलेज प्रशासन के तरफ से भी कार्रवाई होगी। पीएमसीएच के जो सुपरिटेंडेंट्स हैं उनसे भी हम बात करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि बिहार सरकार ने एक नोटिस जारी किया था इस एग्जाम से पहले कि जितने भी मेडिकल कॉलेज हैं उनके छात्रों को जिस दिन एग्जाम है उस दिन कैंपस से बाहर न जाने दिया जाए। यानी कि पहले से सरकार को ये लग रहा था कि ये लोग सॉल्वर गैंग में शामिल हो सकते हैं या कहीं दूसरे स्टूडेंट के बदले एग्जाम में वो भाग ले सकते हैं। तो ऐसे में नोटिस पहले से जारी किया गया था राज्य सरकार की तरफ से और इसके लिए हर मेडिकल कॉलेज को कहा गया था कि आप कुछ ऐसा कार्यक्रम करें, क्विज या इस तरह का कोई कार्यक्रम कॉलेज में करें और सभी छात्रों को वहां कॉलेज के अंदर, कैंपस के अंदर रखे। लेकिन आप देखिए फिर भी छात्र बाहर निकल गए, जाकर वो दूसरे छात्र के नाम पर एग्जामिनेशन सेंटर पे जाते हैं, वहां पर एग्जामिनेशन में बैठते हैं। हालांकि एग्जामिनेशन शुरू होने से पहले इन लोगों को आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया गया, गिरफ्तार कर लिया गया। अब पूछताछ चल रही है और तमाम चीजों को अब जांच करने के बाद ही साफ हो पाएगा कि इसमें आखिर कौन लोग जो है मोस्ट जी।
We'll leave it there for the moment, Saket. Thank you very much for getting us details of Bihar's Munna Bhai MBBS students. Meanwhile, another NEET controversy, this time it's playing out in Bangalore, where parents are alleging that congestion caused by a Congress rally delayed students on their way to the exam center. By the time the students arrived, the gates had already been shut. Meanwhile, uproar in Bangalore has snowballed into this massive controversy, the BJP targeting the Congress over this rally, alleging that it was because of the rally that traffic jams were caused and it delayed students on their way to exam centers. The Congress, of course, rejecting the charge, saying the rally had no role in the delays. The BJP also accusing Rahul Gandhi of shedding crocodile tears over students, while the Congress says the BJP is spreading misinformation and must apologize to students for paper leaks. Listen in to how Karnataka's Minister Priyank Kharge has defended the party.
Mr. Surya should first come out and apologize for what the central government has been doing for the students. If the Congress government has to be blamed here for 3 students not writing NEET, then in Delhi also people missed. So Delhi government is responsible. In Maharashtra also they missed. Madhya Pradesh also they missed. So that respective government, those respective governments are responsible. 11 a.m. the gates open. 1:30 p.m. you're supposed to report. So biometric bhi hai, standard operating procedures hai. The government of Karnataka has issued traffic advisory. We have also issued a helpline. Show me which BJP government has done this.
All right. Meanwhile, Karnataka's Minister B.K. Hariprasad has given a statement on the NEET fiasco in Bangalore. He says, I want to clarify what happened yesterday. It is true that there was a traffic jam because of the event. We wanted to hold the event on Sunday to avoid disturbance to public. If any students were affected due to this event, if anyone couldn't attend their exam, I extend my regrets. As if extending regrets will help. We'll listen in to B.K. Hariprasad, but for the moment, listen in to what the BJP is saying.
छल छत्रपों के जो पैराशूटी पॉलिटिक्स है, तो जो छात्रों की परीक्षा पर भी छल छत्रपों की पैराशूटी पॉलिटिक्स का एक और नज़ारा ही है। आप जो है वो नौजवानों के भविष्य पर भय और भ्रम का भंवर जाल फैलाने में लगे हुए हैं और जो कुछ भी आपने बेंगलोर में हुआ वो आपने देखा, उस पर जो है वो आप फिर भी जो है वो आप पूरी पॉलिटिक्स करने में लगे हुए हैं। तो इस तरह की जो छल छत्रपों की पैराशूटी पॉलिटिक्स है वो एक के बाद एक एक्सपोज हो रही है।
Who cares for the students in reality and who weaponizes their issues? The Congress party insensitively today held a rally in Bengaluru right next to the NEET center, because of which 3 students got delayed in reaching the center and they were caused the most amount of stress that any student can face. The parents' testimonials are there. This is the true face of the Congress. which says that it cares for students. On the other hand, the Prime Minister landed at Delhi airport. It was around 1:15. Had he left then from the airport to reach his residence, it would have probably caused some kind of inconvenience to students. So he stayed at the airport because the examination was at 2 o'clock. And he ensured that no student is inconvenienced because of him.
Let me go straight across to Imran, who is joining us on the broadcast. Imran, politics playing out a day after NEET exams was conducted successfully. Here is the BJP you just heard, Shehzad, speaking about the fact that the Prime Minister took 45 minutes, stayed inside the airport, decided not to come out because he thought that NEET students will get affected if his convoy passes. And on the other hand, you have the Congress behaving completely irresponsibly in Bangalore, holding that rally, holding up students, therefore delaying them for NEET. But what is interesting is Priyank Kharge almost blaming students.
Well, yes, in fact, this is the most watched visual yesterday in Bangalore, where the two students were desperately pleading with the exam authorities to allow them to enter the campus there. And that's a re-examination of the NEET exams that are happening. And yesterday, there were too many programs in Bangalore city. There was Yoga Day. Also, there was the oath-taking ceremony, the charge-taking ceremony of the B.K. Hari Prasad, who was the KPCC president. In fact, he has come out and he's apologized for the inconvenience caused to the students. But some of the Congress leaders have brazened it out. And in fact, somewhat it's insensitive also, some would say, saying that the students should have come to the examination center on time rather than blaming the Congress party over it. Now, the BJP rightfully is targeting the Congress party over it, saying that the three students missed out. But the Congress is saying the larger blame comes on the center, and especially when the paper leak happened, they should be more held responsible than the Congress party in Karnataka.
Leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much. Moving on now. Just 2 days after the governor of Tamil Nadu promised structural reform in the HR and CE department in his assembly address, the TVK government has delivered its first concrete action. In a government order issued late Friday night, the Hindu Religious and Charitable Endowments Department has cancelled administrative sanctions for 46 projects approved by the previous DMK government. The project includes 29 marriage halls worth some 115 crore rupees and 17 commercial complexes worth 130 crore rupees. The total value of the shelved projects is about 246 crores. All of it was to be built using temple funds. Now, this controversy did not start with the TVK government. The courts had been raising objections for more than a year. In January 2025, the Madras High Court struck down the DMK government's plan to build a shopping complex using funds from a temple near Chennai, saying that temple money cannot be used for commercial projects. The Supreme Court upheld that ruling in May 2025. A month later in June, the Madras High Court ordered an immediate halt to all HR and CE construction projects that violated these rulings. Then, in August 2025, a division bench struck down 5 government orders approving marriage halls on temple land, calling them illegal and unconstitutional and ruling that temple funds belong to the deity, not the government. In short, the court had repeatedly told the DMK government to stop, but the projects continued. For years, temple activists and right-wing groups have argued that Hindu temples alone remain under government control, while devotees have little say over how temple wealth is spent. Across India, governments have exercised varying degrees of control over major Hindu shrines, often through laws, boards and trusts. In Uttarakhand, the Char Dham shrines were bought under a state law before priests forced it to repeal. Padmanabhaswamy temple in Kerala continues to be under the Devasam framework. Tirumala came under direct state control through a 1966 law. The Vaishno Devi shrine was taken over by a board in 1986. The Siddhivinayak temple in Mumbai, the Sai Baba temple in Shirdi, and even the Somnath temple are administered through statutory trusts and government-backed arrangements. Now, Hindu organizations point to several controversies during the DMK years to argue that the previous regime repeatedly clashed with matters of faith. They cited the Patina controversy, where the Dharmapuram Mutt was initially denied permission for the centuries-old ritual of carrying the pontiff in a palanquin after objections from activists citing human rights concerns. The issue later snowballed into a larger debate over tradition and interference. The mutt also leveled serious allegations against the ruling DMK, claiming temple lands had not been restored for religious rituals and alleging threats after seeking the return of temple property. Now, temple activists and spiritual leaders have long argued that thousands of temples in Tamil Nadu have suffered from years of neglect, lack of manpower, and shrinking revenues under state administrations. Sadhguru, in fact, has repeatedly raised the issue, claiming that nearly 37,000 temples are being run by just a single person, while around 34,000 temples earn less than 10,000 rupees a year. He has also pointed to nearly 12,000 temples where pujas have not been conducted for years and highlighted theft of more than 1,200 idols. Supporters of the Free Temple movement cite these figures to argue that government control has failed to preserve Hindu institutions and that temple administration needs a complete rethink. Today, the Samajwadi Party has taken a cautious and measured position in the temple fund row. Listen in.
समाजवादी पार्टी समझती कि जो सरकार नीतियां बनाती है वो उन नीतियों में जनहित भी होना चाहिए और आस्था का भी पूरा ध्यान होना चाहिए। इसलिए समाजवादी पार्टी को इस पूरे प्रकरण में बहुत टिप्पणी नहीं करनी है। समाजवादी पार्टी समझती कि तमिलनाडु कैसे आगे बढ़े, कैसे तमिलनाडु की जनता के हित में विकास काम हो, वो जिम्मेदारी वहाँ की सरकार की है।
Let me go straight across to Dharani, who is joining us on the broadcast. Dharani, we know what the TVK's views are on the matter clearly. What about the DMK? Are they reacting today at all?
Well, in fact, DMK spokesperson Saravanan says that, it was in fact the surplus revenue from the temples that were being used to build marriage halls and commercial complexes, and these marriage halls and commercial complexes, they will be rented out in the name of the respective temples, and the revenue that is coming out of these buildings, that will also be used for the betterment of the temples, is what Saravanan had told. So this was the take of the DMK earlier also during their 5-year regime, and that is why the DMK during its 5-year tenure built numerous number of marriage halls and commercial complexes from the temple revenues, and in fact these marriage halls and commercial complexes were rented out and in subsidized prices to the public, and the revenue that came out of it was also used for the betterment of temples. The improvisation of the temples is what the DMK says, but the TVK government that is currently ruling the state is of a completely different opinion. TVK says that there is no need to build any marriage halls or like commercial complexes with the temple money. The temple money can be, first-hand used for the improvisation of temples or betterment of facilities that are currently prevailing in the temples. We can provide quality food to thousands of people on a daily basis in prominent temples across the state, which is already happening. So we can improvise that. We can provide better infrastructural facilities to the devotees. So all these things can be done instead of building marriage halls and commercial complexes, is what the TVK says. So it looks like both the DMK and the TVK, they have a completely differing point of view as far as this temple fund row is concerned. But since TVK is in the power right now, they have revoked sanctions of around 45 projects that's worth 240 crores, which were earlier given approvals by the DMK government, the erstwhile DMK government.
We'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much. Shifting our focus to the big international story, US-Iran talks in Switzerland have ended with, well, mixed outcomes. A positive beginning, but a dramatic twist in the middle of negotiations. The first round of discussions was described as constructive, with both sides agreeing to continue technical talks this week. The agenda was wide-ranging, from the nuclear issue and sanctions to the Strait of Hormuz and the situation in Lebanon. But the atmosphere changed after a statement from US President Donald Trump as the talks were on. Mr. Trump posted on Truth Social and warned Iran to stop supporting its proxies in Lebanon, saying that if they don't, the US could take action against Iran again. And it wasn't said as pleasantly as I'm saying it. The remarks triggered a sharp reaction from Tehran. Iran's delegation reportedly walked out of the venue and refused to continue the talks. Iran's side said the talks could not continue after a threatening statement from Trump. Mediators, Pakistan and Qatar, attempted to keep the discussions going. Now, The key question, can diplomacy stay on track or will fresh tensions derail this process? Meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, Iran is pushing back hard against the warnings after Trump's threat. Iran's top negotiator and parliamentary speaker, Ghalibaf, launched a sharp counterattack. Ghalibaf dismissed US threats, saying Iran does not rely on American warnings and that Iranian forces are prepared to respond. He accused the US of being in a position of desperation and warned that US should be careful with its words. With negotiations already facing fresh uncertainty, Tehran's message is clear: it will not back down under pressure. Let me go straight across to Srinjoy, who is joining us on the broadcast. Srinjoy, what can one say? The talks are happening in Switzerland, but Iran clearly giving a cold shoulder to the Americans.
It's one thing to say all the things that have been said. President Trump is very unpredictable. He says different things at different times. And then you would have Iranians reacting to it. The important thing, much more than what is being said, is what is being done. And we don't know who these people are, the negotiators, the technical people. They are very below radar at this point. And these are the people who can and could, save the situation. Because these technical people will sit quietly in a room and discuss all the issues concerned. If there are different subgroups, they will all sit separately, look at their work, focus on it, and try to find a solution. That's how diplomatic solutions are arrived at. By making statements, you don't get anywhere in life. And this is exactly why things have got delayed by as long as it has.
Okay, we'll leave it there for the moment, Srinjoy. Thank you very much. This was only round one. We'll see how it plays out over the next 60 days. We'll wrap it with that. Thank you very much for joining. News and updates continue right here on Times Now. Do stay with us.